I'll be talking about open source software. I'll be talking about what is open source software and how it has impacted in this area in the rural southern central, not Knoxville, but in the rural southern central Appalachian region, and how we have helped librarians impact their communities by using open source software. When we talk about open source software, we think of the phenomenon, the concept, the movement that shows us wisdom of masses, collective intelligence. So how we can pull together a lot of people and make great ideas. That's one of the big things that comes with open source software. Another big thing that comes with it is that it's free of cost. So open source software is the software that you can get for free. So when we are thinking about, if you're thinking about if I have used it or if I know it, these are some of the examples that you can see that these are open source software examples. These are free available resources, and they're very useful when we are talking about low budget situations. So we've looked at, in some of our research in libraries in South Central Appalachia, we saw that there were a lot of budgetary challenge libraries and organizations, and we know the benefits that can come with using technology. So, so open source software is free, but it's as free kittens. If you've had free kittens, you know what that means. What it means is, that you have to have a lot of training, a lot of maintenance, a lot of input into it for you to actually be benefited by this kind of thing. So from that came an idea in which we proposed to Institute of Museum and Library Services that we would like to educate librarians in this region in technology so that they can benefit from things that they might not be aware of. So based on that, we had proposed one grant, we got that, and then we successfully completed that, in which we educated 16 rural librarians with a technology focus. Based on the success of that, we got another grant in which we educated 13 more rural librarians. Again, the same idea of improving their technological skills so that they can impact their communities. Those grants are called ITRL 1 and 2. So these are the faces of people who were educated as part of those grants. Right there in orange is the PI, Dr. Bharat Mehra, and myself and all our students. During their coursework, we taught them, we gave them tools, and we said, go out, impact your world, make a difference. Make a difference in your communities. So in this talk today, I would like to share some of the examples of things that they have done that have impacted their communities, that have impacted their own personal, professional growth and skills and competencies. So this is a library in Athens, Tennessee, and the student was Julie Faulkner. For this library, she installed a laptop computing lab with 12 computers. That lab is now being used by the patrons to apply for jobs, to learn about other things. So she's, by doing that, impacting that community. You can see this picture shows you it's a very small library in Newmarket, Tennessee. Again, very limited resources. Our student there, Susan Williams, she gained experience in computer hardware and software and installed a lot of open source projects that are now being used by their patrons, again, for utility-based things. Similarly, in Sevierville, Tennessee, one of our students built a wiki for collaboration between the county public schools and a software vendor, thereby making the process more efficient. Again, having an impact beyond their own professional growth, but on the community. In an elementary school, one of our students proposed and created a plan for iPad adoption so that students could become savvy in tablet usage as well as mobile app usage. In these slides, the icons at the bottom are the software that are open source software. So that's the software they were using. This is an example of a library in East Ridge, Tennessee. Actually, this library is located in the city hall, so it doesn't have its own physical building. But they also didn't have any software for day-to-day running. So she evaluated an open source software. Some of her students created the only web presence for their institutions, like the public library in Marshall or the public library in Sevier County using open source content management systems. And they learned all those things in our classes as part of their coursework and actually implemented them at the same time and continue to do that. In all of those students in different classes also created podcasts and screencasts and tutorials on how to use their library catalogs or library services, and then they put them on the website. For their personal growth, professional growth, they created e-portfolios where they demonstrated that these are the skills and competencies we have, this is how we created them, this is the entire process. And again, this was done by using open source software like Drupal. So overall, in 30 different communities, our students are making an impact and influencing and improving lives of thousands of people regularly. Our project also made it to partnerships that make a difference in, recognized by UT, one of the projects that was recognized. For us, the researchers in the project, we've had about 25 publications, and we continue to work on the research from it, the future findings, and assessing impact of it going forward. So we are working on it from both the service learning perspective as well as from academic research perspective. And we really appreciate the opportunity to be able to do this and appreciate the support and the infrastructure we have at UT. And in the end, may the source be with you.